I never thought I had too many unread books until I took a look at my Kindle and saw how many unread books I had on there. And now, welcome to my new video series called Kindle Clearout, where we will be doing just that, clearing out my Kindle. So, we are back for another round of Kindle Clearout. So, since last, I am currently on 1216. Yes, we are at the same exact point, I think, where we started last one. Which, that would kind of suck, can we just say that? So, our plan is to see now, basically during like the next month, can we just say that I will probably, read more outside of this, so it will probably, end up being lower. Hopefully, let's hope that. But we are basically doing screen recorder and see how many books we are reading, like last time, and then see where, like how we are going to source those books. So, let's see. So we are back in Spin the Wheel, which, yeah. So, clear my Kindle. Let's see. This is all the way from 5 to 16, I think. Yeah, 5 to 16. So we can end up with a high or a low number. So let's spin and see. So, 11. Okay, so this log might be, this video will probably be a little longer, on the longer side. So 11 books. Let's just see how to pick. So we have a few new ones. And basically, I have to say, these are specifically for what I have on my Kindle. I would just say that. Just because, sometimes it's difficult to, if I have something that I don't have. So, I mean, we are a little screwed if we get to classics, because 11 classics, that's going to be a lot. But let's just see where, if we are going to source them somewhere, or if we get a prompt. Okay, let's see. Animal on the cover. Okay, that's interesting. We do have quite a lot of ones with that on the cover. That is going to be so interesting. I can't wait. Can we just say that? I can't wait to actually get to this. So 11 books with animals on the cover. And let's see where that is going to take us. So I will talk once, I have finished books. Because for this one, I'm just going to vibe it, see what do I feel like getting to, and everything like that. So, I've just finished the first Kindle book, and what to say? I give it 3 stars. Overall, I really did like these two people together. They were really cute together, and I overall really liked it. I just felt like there was a little bit like, not lacking, but when, she's, the picture and the like description of her, she's described as a curvy girl, and I love that. I really love that we don't have all like only like skinny people all the way talking about them. I just kind of wanted, I don't know, more, let's call it more discussion around there. Like, I just don't feel like we kind of got into kind of that. I think I just wanted, how to explain it, like more, like I almost had more talk about that, because I just feel like it is so important to talk about. Like, yeah, but I think that's just me, but I really like the romance, and yeah, sometimes I feel like a little bit like, sometimes I just get a little tired of like the the best friend's brother, because I just feel like a lot of the times the brother is just like so like he gets so angry and it's just like, yeah, it just becomes this huge deal. And I think that was one reason why I really loved Wild Love, which basically is about Grant and this woman, and just not this woman, but basically it's a best friend's brother. But the brother is so supportive, and I feel like I really love when like brother and like the family, they are just like so supportive and everything. And I just feel like sometimes I just want that. I just feel like, yeah. But I mean, I grew up with a sister, so I have no idea how a big brother would be. So yeah, I think that's just me. But yeah, and then just like him being, he was just like really like negative to himself. Like he was injured in like the military, and he just talks down on himself. Like he feels guilty for getting hurt, and I'm just like, but that's not your fault. And yeah, so I don't know. I liked it. 3 stars. It was fine. Don't think I have a lot of other things. So this one has a dog on the cover, which obviously this round is about animals on the cover, so dog fits perfectly. Okay, so I finished 2 books for my Kindle Clearout, and can we just say, I thought I had updated, but I haven't. So the first book I finished was The Firekeeper, and this one is basically like, it has like a hellhound and like some birds, and it has like a, don't really know what animal that is. But yeah, it has some animals on it. And this one is the second book in the Stormrunner series, and I give it 3 stars. It's a fine series. It's not like the most interesting thing, but overall, it's good. It's captivating enough for me to continue on with this series, and yeah. But it has an animal on the cover, obviously. Don't really know. Yeah. So we have one more book left in this series. So we are on what, 2? That was like number 2 or something. So we still have quite a lot to go. I think I have like something here, or maybe not. Did I write it up? I don't know if I did. I haven't even written anything up. What was the first book that we finished? It was The Redo List. I have to write this down. So The Redo List was the first one. I just need to know that I, read that. And then this next one right now is The Firekeeper. So 3 stars. It was fine. I'm going to continue on with the series, as I said, but it's not like something that I am loving, but it's something that I had on here, and yeah, it's a series that I am going to finish off, and we have 1 book left in this series, but then you are jumping into a duology which follows Ren, and it's just, yeah, it's fine. Don't really want that, So we are basically following this boy who is half god or something, and it's just a bunch of like things that is happening with him, and yeah, it's interesting. Don't really know what else to say. And then I have finished off a 3rd book, and that is The Problem with Pugs. And oh boy, let's just say, okay, so I don't really know what to say. And the reason why I say that is not like in a totally bad way. It's basically about this woman who, her boyfriend, he basically decided to start a non-profit and basically go to, let's call it, he went to Bali to beg for money. Let's just call it what it is. Like from rich clients. Left her, broke up with her, and then left his pug with her. And the problem is basically that this dog has basically just he's really sad because his owner, he just left. And that is kind of his whole problem. Like, he's so like aggressive towards dogs, like men. So it's definitely something there. And then basically, after this incident where basically this dog bites like the person in her house, she figures out that I need to do something. So she basically goes to a vet, and his name is Tristan. That is the only thing that I remember from this book. And basically, it's interesting. So basically, he decides that he wants to help, and they slowly, like, they start falling for each other. And then he's like, her ass of a ex-boyfriend decides to come home, just because the thing is, she decides that the best thing to do is just like, they are not going to talk to each other anymore. And then he comes back because he's a asshole. Can we just say that? He is such a annoying piece of shit. And yeah, he just wants to control her life. And the second that he kind of lost that control, he comes back and wants to, like, I want to be together with you. And she's just like, don't know what to do, just because she spent, like, I don't know, 80% of this book pining after him. Maybe not 80%, but like 50%. And then she met Tristan, and she just felt like she started liking him. And then he, like, the ex comes back, and she's confused, and it's just like a lot of things. And then basically, I give it 3 stars. And just because I overall like this book, it was easy to read, it was, yeah. But the main character, I just felt like she was, like, without a man, she was like kind of nothing. She had a job that she hated, and she was just like, not doing anything. But she kind of straight into, jumped into something with just Tristan without actually, kind of knowing herself, like, without exploring. And yes, I know it's less than 200 pages, this book. But I just feel bad when I say that I kind of wanted more, but I wanted more. And I think that it was just really, I don't know, it's just not something that I love when I just felt like a woman was nothing without having a man in her life. And I'm just like, yeah, no. Just no. But it wasn't bad per se. It was fun, I am going to continue with this series because it's really easy to read. The next one, I even own the next one, which is something to do with tabbies. And I am going to continue on with this series, not in this video, but sometime in the future. Yeah, sure. It wasn't bad. Let's just leave it at that, and I will talk more whenever I read something else. So let's just take this a little down. I have finished my 4th book. Excuse the hair, it looks like a mess. I took a shower today, but yeah. I finished my 4th book for this video. And I finished Music Man. And I gave it 3 stars. It was good, but I was frustrated. So it's basically about Jack and Claire. And basically, Jack competes in this competition, and then he basically in a music competition, and then he blows up. And he goes on tour and everything. And everything that is also happening is that he is basically taking care of his child this summer, but because of everything is that he basically needs to give the responsibility to his girlfriend Claire. Now they have a great relationship. He's thinking about actually proposing, but he never does that before he goes on tour. And then on tour is where I got the most annoyed. I kind of saw this coming, and I was just like, I don't want it to happen. But yeah, so basically, we also have this woman called Bunny, and Bunny is on tour with Jack and like 10 other contestants. 8 other contestants. And basically, what happens is that the people who they are on tour with basically sees that people are really interested in Bunny and Jack, so they are just like, we are going to just ride this out. And then they basically take Jack's phone away, so he can't talk to his girlfriend. And basically, he's like, Claire, she's just like, at the end, she's just like, I'm done. And I get that. And can we just say, what is worse? I feel like one of the worst thing that can happen is when your ex-wife calls you and calls you a dumbass for doing everything and basically make it so Claire don't want to be with you. She's just like, are you a totally dumbass because she's the best thing that has ever happened to you? So that was like, I feel like, can we just say, that has to be a low point when your ex-wives call you and said, you are an idiot for that. If I was bi, I would have been together with her. I mean, like, that says something. And yeah, and then we have Bunny. And Bunny, she basically fat shames Claire. And yes, Jack says something. But basically, everyone guilt-stripping him into continue on with the tour. Because apparently, even though we are over 30 years old, we just sign contracts without anyone looking over them. And basically that means that they can choose to do whatever they want with you. And I'm just like, shouldn't we, read the contracts before we sign them? So yeah, now everything, is fine in the end. The ending was a little kind of rushed, but like his ex-wife, like Jack's ex-wife, basically he's just like, but I'm home in 2 weeks. Or 2 days. It might actually be 2 days. And she's just like, that's too slow to fix this. You go and do it now. You better make it public and everything. And I'm just like, yes, I could just say. In the beginning, I was a little hesitant to Jack's ex-wife. He called her Darth Vader. But your mind basically changes on her just because she is actually very supportive of both of them. She might have like really harsh, sometimes she is a little like harsh and everything, but she sees and she's just like, you need to fix this now. If not, you're not going to fix it. And I was just like, my mind definitely changed on her. She was, yeah, like she basically have cancer. And after that, basically she changes because she sees how short life is. And she is just like, and I feel like that is like one part, like one reason why she's just like, you go do something now, not in 2 days when you're done with this story. You are going to do it now. And I really love that. And yeah, so I give it 3 stars just because I overall like this. Now, it was a little weird having like an established couple at the beginning of the book. And then like, yeah. But overall, I liked it enough. I feel like it was just kind of predictable. I liked it, but I didn't love it. It basically made me frustrated. To be completely honest, I was just frustrated during a lot of time in this, and especially like, I feel like the one reason why I didn't give it any higher rating is because, can we just say, I can be frustrated when they break up, especially if there is like a weird reason that I am just like, But the problem with this was I was frustrated before they even broke up, because I was frustrated with Jack when he was on tour, and that is, I don't want to be frustrated before everything goes down, because that's just me. I can be frustrated when it happens, but I don't want to be frustrated for 80% of the book. maybe 50, 70, 60, 60 maybe. I don't want to be, annoyed and frustrated 60% through the book. So it was good, but I was kind of too frustrated to love this book. So I have just finished Just a Friend, which is the first one in the Tate Brothers series, and this one, it was really like a palate cleanser. I didn't expect great things going in. I gave it 3 stars. Just because there was just they were just shit at communicating overall. I mean, for being 30, they were really bad at communicating. But yeah, so basically it's about, I don't even remember the names. This is bad. It's basically about Oliver and whatever her name was. I'm really good at this, but it's basically they have been friends for ever, basically, and for like a decade or so. And basically what happens is that her name is Sophie. So basically Oliver, he gets this realization that he actually likes her when he almost loses Sophie, or get the feeling that he's losing Sophie because she's started okay, let's just start from the beginning. They basically have this milkshake date like once a year, and then this one year he can't make it, and she meets a new guy, and it doesn't work out. But they were almost, not almost engaged, but basically people were just thinking that they would get engaged. And then Oliver is just seeing just everything just flashes, and he's just I might lose her, and I can't lose her. So yeah, it sort of goes from there that they want to be together. Apparently that's not as easy as it looks, just because let's just say that Oliver has some past trauma, and he don't like where she lives because of that trauma. That he eventually get over, and he lives somewhere totally different. He's I don't know, Italian coast or something. And basically Sophie don't want to move, so she's basically going to open libraries where she lives. And it just makes things difficult, because in the beginning he's just I'm gonna leave, and then eventually he's just he find it really difficult, because how can he leave her, especially when she don't want to go. So it's just a lot, and and then the road to where they actually decide to be together, it's kind of long. But I mean, it is a 250 page book, so I didn't expect much. But yeah, 3 stars, palate cleanser. It was really good in a palate cleanser way, something just really easy, something that you are not going to think about for a long time, but cute enough. I mean, just the communication was shit. But I think I am going to try, at least not right now, but I am going to continue on with this eventually. This series, I think I have one more book from this. So it won't be now, but eventually, yes. And for the animals on the cover, this one will fit, just because I think all of them have that on the cover. So yeah, so I have just finished my 6th book, and that is That Stranded Feeling. And this one, it's basically about this woman who lives kind of far up in the mountain in a cabin, just because she had her heart broken and just left the whole city life, and she has her own knitting business, which is actually very fun. And then she hears a knock on the door, and there is this guy standing there who is lost, and there is a snowstorm, a really really horrific snowstorm, all the roads are closed, and he is going somewhere, but he basically got lost. And what then happens is that she's just like, well, then you should stay here then, because you can't go anywhere. And that car of yours is not going to work. So, then it turns into like 2 or 3 days. So they don't like each other in the beginning, just because she thinks that he is like this awful, like, rich guy who is just like everyone is under him, and she was basically together with that kind of guy. And yeah, she is so done with that. And then basically they sleep together, because they are attracted to each other. This is like a really, like, I don't know, they've been together like for like 2 months in the end or something, which is really quickly, going to say that. So, and then basically the day after, he's able to lose her dog, which is deaf. The dog is deaf, meaning that he lost the dog in the front yard with no fencing, and she is pissed. And I'm just like, I see that. I understand why you are so angry, because let's face it, I would be angry too if someone lost my dog, especially if it was a deaf dog, because that dog can't hear anything. And then basically, what the conclusion is that he basically was able to shut it in the woodshed. So she has been in there for hours. And I get why she's angry. Can we just say that? I would not be kind to anyone who basically let my dog out. So yeah, and then they sleep together again, you know. But yeah, he is basically going like an hour away, because he has this really important meeting with this extremely rich guy. And basically he wants her to come. And basically the road is so bad that she's like, I'm gonna drive you, because there is no way that car is going to get to wherever you're going. So basically they drive off together. So he starts getting a little sweeter, though. She figures out that he's not like the rich asshole type. But then basically they meet this horrid billionaire called Archie, and he's the biggest shit I have ever read about. One of them at least. But because basically he insults her, because she is obviously, she's not dressed like rich. So he basically thinks that she's a maid, and basically makes fun of what she's wearing, and basically like everything. And she is pissed, rightfully pissed. Can we just say that? I would not be kind if anyone called me a maid and basically insulted what I had on. I would not be kind to that either. Can we just say that? I kind of get her a little. And then basically she decides to leave, just because, I mean, obviously the guy that what is his name? I don't remember his name. But basically she decides to leave just because there is like no way that she feels like she could be together with him. Like the man that she was sleeping with. And so yeah, she left. He gets really pissed at Archie and basically throws him out and calls him a, I don't know, asshole. And then he figures out that she left, and he's just like, I need to go after her. But there's another snowstorm yet again, and he's just like, I can't go. But then when he finally goes, like, he did fine. Basically he decides to stay with her, and he just never left. And then yeah, basically they stay up there, and in the end she's also just like, if you need to go with to San Francisco, I mean, I am willing to, move there. So that is kind of how it ends. So it's sort of yeah, and then he proposes in the end. So, but I don't know. I give 3 stars. It was fine. It had its moments, but I also didn't love it. So I feel like sometimes 3 are just like I liked it, and sometimes it's just like it probably. I mean, it might have been more like a 2.5, but I usually don't give half stars. So 3 because I feel like 2 is a little too harsh because I overall liked it. But yeah, it was fine. So I have finished Love Painted in Lies, and I give it 2 stars. So this is basically about a woman who basically moves back to her parents' place with her twins, because she needs to take care of her parents, and she has like 2 like old shepherd or something. And basically something else is that it's kind of overshadowed by her being like an ex like forger, like actually painting and forging paintings. And then it just becomes a whole mess. And then she meets this guy, and you know when things are just like too good to be true? Yeah, it was. It says it's a romance. I just didn't feel, I didn't get the romance part, just because you know when you feel like he felt off, and it was something that was off. And I'm just, after that, even if he said that he liked her, I just couldn't believe it, just because, you know, of all the things that was happening. And it was just like, why? I just, yeah, after that revelation where, yeah, it was just like I couldn't believe that he actually liked her. So yeah, and then, yeah, I don't really know. I just, especially, like, can we just say that, especially since it's like marketed as a romance, I want to believe in the romance. And yeah, he said that it was like a romance and cozy mystery, and I'm struggling with cozy mysteries. I have a habit of hating them, and apparently I still do. This one, 2 stars. It was like a few parts that I liked, and then a few parts that I like, a lot of parts that I definitely didn't like, and it just overall became something that I was just like, I don't really like this. So, I mean, the writing was good. It was like before and after, like the now and then the present, when like the past when she was, you know, a forger, and it was something. But then again, how, yeah, it was just the writing good, characters no. So yeah, but I also feel like the second you say a forgerer, I'm thinking Neil Caffrey, and I don't know. I just that's just where my mind wanders off to, and then yeah, it was just like I just don't feel like I loved it. So that's bad, but at least we have it done. I feel like this is like, I feel like there are a lot of times where I basically get books. There are like 3 stars, but they are usually at 3 stars. They are, I can't say that it's like a lot 2 stars, and it's really boring when you get a 2 star. So I have finished my, I have no idea, 9th? Is it the 9th? It might actually be the 9th. Let's take a look. 8th. So I have 3 left. Yeah, that makes sense. So I watched Hearts on Fire and this one. We're basically following this woman who moves into the house that her like grandmother left her. And then we meet this guy who basically, this woman's father, he said that he was going to sell it to this guy, and he kind of gets angry that all of a sudden this woman is just coming in and starting to, demolish it inside. And basically he turns up and he basically let's just call it, this is like, I don't know, not that long. It's probably like a month or so, and they just fall completely heads over heels. So is it necessarily like my cup of tea with how quickly they fell in love? No. But I really, really liked it, and I feel like the cat definitely made this story. So there is a cat in this. And yeah, and there's a kitten in this, and it's really, really good though. So it kind of ended up with just overall me falling in love with this cat, and just, yeah, but I have to say, overall, I liked them together. They were kind of cute, and I mean, it's not like I haven't heard stories about people, falling quickly in love. I don't feel like it's not something that people maybe do all the time, but some people definitely do. Can't, like, say that they don't. But yeah, I overall actually really liked this. It was cute. I liked the couple, and he was just like she basically, as a child, basically were in a car accident with her dad, who is drunk. I'm gonna say is because he is still a drunk. And basically he ran off, and according to her dad, he was going to get help. But from what you basically get to know is that the police found him basically asleep in the ditch, so no. But then a lot of guilty people will actually tell them a completely different story to make themselves feel better. But yeah, basically her mother basically divorced the dad and just took the daughter and left, which obviously, yeah. And then the grandmother basically kind of were on his side, but and bailed him out of jail. But what she didn't know, and kind of regretted afterwards, was that she basically cut off her granddaughter. So yeah. And the guy, he's a firefighter, and basically it triggers this female male characters PTSD and anxiety. She has like very severe anxiety, and I really, really like how supportive he is. And then I would just say the ending was crazy. Basically, now this will be a spoiler. Basically, the dad basically sets the house on fire with her inside. And that was a wild ride. That was such a wild ride. And now the dad dies. Like burned to death, because apparently he fell into the fire. And yeah, he was a wild ride. Can we just say that? It was a really, really wild ride. And he is so like scared for her, and he's just, when he hears, he's just like, he's on the first plane home, and it's really, really cute how much he cares for this woman. And yeah, and the cat is so sweet. Can we just say that the cat just made the whole book, So I have finished book 9, so we have 2 books left, which is kind of crazy, and I am hoping to be able to get through those pretty soon. I finished Finding His Redemption, and in this one it's basically about these people who have done some sort of crime. Now it is not like a hard crime where like they are a danger to others. And basically Walker, like the guy that has with everything. Let's start again. basically, in this story, we are following Jax, and he basically, it wasn't like really explained that much. So I am like, are there a different story that I haven't seen? Maybe, where we actually get to know what happened. But basically, he hit a woman. So he has been in prison for assault. And then basically Walker, who owns this ranch, basically decides that he's going to, let him be there on parole, which he actually does. He has ex-felons on there, letting them work there with dogs, and it's fascinating. But he always goes through every single one and basically checks out that they are in no danger to other people, and that he thinks that they can, have a redemption, redeem themselves, which, yeah. And then we have Nessie. Now, Nessie is in witness protection. And so spoilers, let's just say that. But yeah, let's just say that she's in witness protection. Her husband, or ex-husband, he was a human trafficker. So basically, she don't know why, basically, her ex decided to, let's call it, keep her, but because she says that she most likely were going to be a human traffic victim, but she don't know why he decided to basically, yeah, just keep her. So she has a boy, Oliver, who they are in witness protection. They'll be in there like 4 years, which basically means, yeah. And basically, she meets Jax, and now the sheriff in this town, he is the biggest asshole in the universe, like, piece of shit. And we will probably sadly see him in the other books. I gave this book 4 stars, by the way. So in the beginning, I was just like, this is really slow. Then we got into like the next 100 pages, and I was just like, this is starting to get really interesting. And then the next like 200 pages was really, really interesting. This is like sort of in like a third perspective type of way, where it's not like but we are following like this person, like we are following Nessie or we are following Jax, and it's very interesting. But I actually really enjoy that. So yeah, this was really, really interesting. Now there are like a few parts where you have more telling than showing, and that is kind of a little boring, but yeah. And I have to say, I overall really, really enjoyed this book. I am going to continue on with this series, which, yeah, going to be interesting. There are 4 books in this series, 3 or 4 books in this series, so we are overall doing really, really well, and I can't wait to actually continue on. So, yeah, I like this. Jax is very like, he is going to protect Nessie. Basically the sheriff, he grabs Nessie, and basically Jax decides to basically like come to the rescue, and he's arrested. But the sheriff, he can't actually, do something about it. He can't press charges just because there are a lot of witnesses that said that the sheriff grabbed Nessie first. So he can't do anything. He hates felons, and I am not like, yeah, he just hates all of them up on that ranch, and I don't like men who basically think it's okay to grab a woman. And he's, just being a piece of shit, and it's just like, yeah. But I also have to say, there is something going on in the background in this that it will probably, like, you will probably see more of this, and I am so curious as to what it is. So basically, there is this guy, he is buying all of these like properties where there is a railroad. And I am really curious as to why. And I hope that we will, soon get to know that. But yeah. So that was book 9, which is really, really great. So now we have 2 books left, and I will leave you to it until I am done with the next one. Okay, so I just finished Curse of the Wolf King. So this is the second to last. We have 1 book left. But this one is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. This one has a wolf on the cover, which, yeah. So basically, this woman, she don't want to get married, and she wants a job. Then she gets this job offer, goes there, and she's basically held for ransom. But she's just like, why don't I help you break the curse? Because he has a curse. Now the curse is basically that he has these petals. They fall. If the last one falls, basically he will become mortal, and the age will catch up to him, and he will die. That's like the curse. There are 2 ways to break it. He can break it himself, but then he will forget everything and become human. Like, he will forget everything, and yeah. And then, basically, the second one is that if someone is willing to basically give up their, most prized thing, like the thing that they, treasure the most. And one thing I loved was basically that it was that a human willingly would actually want to give that up, which the wording is really interesting because, yeah. So basically, she has this girl who is getting close to being her stepsister, and she's just she hates her, and she basically wants that the Wolf King, that he's going to flirt with her and then basically make her fall in love. And yeah, that works out extremely well, right? So basically what happens then is that they basically fall in love themselves, yeah. But then the reason why they break up is that basically he was in the beginning I am willing to break the curse myself. But then they sleep together, and he's just I can't do it. And the reason is that he can't live without her. He can't see his life without her. And if he breaks the curse, then he will not remember her. So basically what she decides to do is break the curse. And basically she's saying that she is willing to basically forget about everything that she and the Wolf King had together, because that is what she treasures the most. And then you basically figure out that, well, I said that you had to be willing to do it. I did never say that it would happen. And that is that was the best ending I have ever read. That's but it's a really fun ending. I said you had to be willing to do it. I didn't say that it would actually happen. So yeah, so that was a really short summary, but it was really, really cute. Can we just say that I really loved these 2 together? They were, yeah. So basically he has always hated humans, and he figures out that they are not everyone is bad. Some are bad, but not all of them. So I am definitely going to continue on with the series. I overall really, really loved it, and I can't wait to continue on and see where we are going next with this series, just because they are all retellings of some sort. So I have to say that Beauty and the Beast is such a used one. It is so all the time there are just used over and over and over again, and I feel like they are all kind of the same. Now this one was a little different, and I actually really like that for that. So now I gave it, it's probably more like a 3.5, just because I overall really liked it. I don't think I would ever, you know, reread it, but I overall really liked it. So we have finished the last book of this video, which is part of your world, and this one. Basically, the woman is 10 years older than the guy, and she's like a nurse, and he's kind of nothing. Sort of. I mean, he's really good at working with wood, but that's not what he does, and he really should. And yeah, so she basically, I mean, not pushes him, but she's just like, you can easily like make money doing what you love. And yeah, so I feel like I give it 4 stars. I feel like she just made a really big deal that she was 10 years older than him. So yeah, her ex was an ass, horrible ass, and yeah. So overall, I really liked it. I kind of felt like the conflict, I feel like it was kind of valid, you know. So I am not going to say anything about that. So yeah, I don't really know how much else I'm going to say. I really liked it. So some of her friends were just like really like asshats, and it was just like, I feel like she did herself a big favor with leaving. And yeah, the ending was really cute, and I mean, her father is a horrible man, and it was just like, yeah, it was a lot. I don't know what else to say. Basically, I really loved it. So let's just say that I have been working on this one so long that I have gotten up to a horrific number. So I don't know where we was when we started. I have now 1227, so we have definitely gone way up, which not good. But that was it for this video. I hope you liked it, and I will see you next time for another one. Bye.